Yo, what is going on, guys? It's Bruin Steel here, and welcome to another WWE broadcast. I'm your host, Bruin Steel, and we are recapping this past Monday Night Raw, which took place in Charlotte, North Carolina. The Raw after Payback. Payback was awesome, but we are recapping the Monday Night Raw right after that, September 4th, 2023. It took place in Charlotte, North Carolina. So we got a lot to talk about. And once again, I'm joined by Canadian Yorker. How's it going?
Pretty good.
So, yep. We have a lot to talk about. This is the Monday Night Raw, this past Monday Night Raw. Just a heads up, I won't be able to make it for the Friday Night SmackDown. So next Tuesday I'll be back in town. So we'll be doing the SmackDown recap then and the Monday Night Raw. So we have a lot to talk about next week. So right now we're focused on this past Monday Night Raw. So let's talk about what happened. So to start off, obviously the big news at Payback is Jey Uso coming into Monday Night Raw, getting traded to Monday Night Raw. He said he was going to quit WWE, but it just turns out to be just a trade to Monday Night Raw. Jey Uso opened up the Monday Night Raw with a huge ovation from the crowd, and everyone's pumped up to see him. You know, it's been so long since Jey Uso had a solo run, and he shared his thoughts about it. And would you know, I expected someone to maybe come out and confront him, and no other than Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn, who has history with Jey Uso, comes out to confront Jey Uso and said that Jey Uso's face looked like he still had issues with Sami Zayn, but Sami Zayn that, oh, you broke free, I'm proud of you, you know, Roman kept you captive, you stood up to Roman, you know, look at you now, you broke free and now you're a free man, I'm proud of you. He offered to shake the hands, but Sami Zayn said that, oh, I get it, you need more time, but Uso said, Sammy, that's not really Uso of me to do, and they shook hands. A great reunite. Two friends reunite, and that's just the end of the segment. So, what do you think of that opening segment with Jey Uso and Sammy?
I know Sammy and Jey are friends. I still think that Jey Uso might try to do something to Sami Zayn. You know, what's his name? Sammy's partner,
Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens might be thinking about this differently. He probably might. Jey Uso is an X Factor, you know, and Kevin Owens is an X Factor. You might think Kevin Owens might be thinking about this the wrong way because he's seeing these guys reunite, and Sami Zayn has said some weird things about mentioning some things, but that just makes Kevin Owens question Sami Zayn, you know, with all his going back and forth. Sometimes he says things that are just kind of questionable. Especially the whole thing with Jey Uso, and now Jey Uso and Sammy are coming together, and I think Sammy's trying to show that he's a good guy, but to me it just seems a little suspicious that he's doing that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, alright, so that's the end of the segment, and right away the first match happened. Jey Uso and Sami Zayn left, but Drew McIntyre comes out and confronts Jey Uso, stares a hole into Jey Uso. You know the history between the two men right there, Drew McIntyre and Jey Uso. They had an exchange when Drew McIntyre came out and they stared at each other. You know the history between those two men when Jey Uso was part of the bloodline and the rivalry that Drew McIntyre had with Roman. So they had some exchanges. Sami Zayn came out and confronted, saying that, oh, Drew, let it go. He's no longer in Roman's control. It's his first night back at Raw. Let it go, and they just shrugged it off. And Riddle came out as well. So that leads to the first match of the night. Drew McIntyre and Riddle teaming up against the Viking Raiders in a torpedo tag team match. So I didn't know what it was. I've seen many, but I just forgot what it is. But it's both men are legal at the same time. Usually tag team matches works that one person stays back and you have to tag them, but this is legal, so both men's legal, so anything goes. It's basically a no disqualification match. So we had Drew McIntyre and Riddle facing off against the Viking Raiders in a torpedo match, which was a great match, honestly, until Kofi Kingston messed it up, screwed it up. For the second week in a row, it's a screw up, causing the Viking Raiders to win. Kofi Kingston tried to save Riddle from getting power bumped through the table, but Kofi Kingston ended up kicking Riddle by accident in the face, and then which backfired, and Drew McIntyre got pushed, and causing Kofi to just slide there looking in shock, while the Viking Raiders power bombed Riddle through the table, which gets them the win 1-2-3. The Viking Raiders defeat Drew McIntyre and Riddle in a tornado tag team match. And by the way, after the match, Drew McIntyre had a confrontation with Kofi Kingston about what happened, and Drew was not happy. So yeah, the Viking Raiders defeated Drew McIntyre and Riddle in a tornado tag team matchup by pinfall. What do you think of this match?
I really think the Viking Raiders are coming up and making their noise known, making themselves known in the WWE tag team world. We got to see them go on a few more matches and see how they do against other tag teams. Obviously, they took advantage of the win because we just decided to come out and help them. I think that the New Day lost to the Viking Raiders. So he thought that he could come out and help them win against them, but it backfired on him, and now Drew McIntyre, you can see this feud. How could they defeat Drew McIntyre and Kofi, which will be an interesting angle. Another thing is that I think that the whole WWE roster does not like Jey Uso because they see him, they're going to go after people who are associated with Roman, and I see that happening. So a lot of people have a bone to pick with Jey Uso. Not only Drew McIntyre, but the whole entire Raw roster has a huge bone to pick with him.
All right.
Isn't that right?
Yeah, and another thing I want to mention is because Jey Uso got traded to Raw, there's going to be a Raw superstar that's going to be traded to SmackDown, which is also going to be a reason why a lot of people are going to hate Jey Uso. But moving on, Shinsuke Nakamura delivered a promo in Japanese. So honestly, I thought it was awesome that Shinsuke Nakamura is a Japanese native and he's able to, give promos in Japanese talking about Seth Rollins and stuff like that. So it looks like Shinsuke Nakamura is not done with Seth Freakin Rollins. So the next segment, Seth Freakin Rollins was not medically cleared to return to the ring after the attack that Shinsuke Nakamura did against after the match off air. But Seth Rollins still came into the ring for a promo and called out Nakamura to finish what they started. Shinsuke Nakamura came out and actually spoke Japanese until Seth Rollins asking if they were going to have a match or not. And they kept saying no to each other, and then both men started a brawl like always, which officials rushed to break up the fight. And this time Shinsuke Nakamura still got the best out of Seth Rollins, still targeting Seth Rollins' back. And then Ricochet with the save came out and aided Seth Rollins, and this led to a match between Ricochet and Shinsuke Nakamura. But before we get into this match, what are your thoughts on the Seth Rollins promo that turned into a brawl? between Shinsuke Nakamura with Shinsuke Nakamura?
Honestly, it was just a beat down because still has not recovered from fight and again payback against Shinsuke and Seth Rollins. He can't keep fighting forever. Eventually, his back is going to weaken, and he's going to lose his title eventually. He can't keep fighting it forever because as much as he tries, he can't delay the inevitable. And Shinsuke Nakamura really wants his title. So we're looking at a really good round number 2 match against these parties, and we're gonna see how it turn out.
All right, and yes, like I said, the next match is right away. It's a Ricochet versus Shinsuke Nakamura. It went back and forth until Shinsuke Nakamura attacked Ricochet with a steel chair, causing Ricochet to win by disqualification. Shinsuke Nakamura had enough of Seth Rollins' bullshit, so he decided to attack Ricochet with a steel chair, and then he almost ended Ricochet's career by trying to hit the Kingaka kick to Ricochet with a chair around his neck, but Seth Rollins came out again with the save, and again, even though doctors medically didn't clear, he came out and saved Ricochet, and then Nakamura ends up pushing Seth Rollins back first into the steel steps, which didn't look good, and Ricochet ended up chasing Nakamura away with a steel chair. So Ricochet ended up winning by disqualification. I don't know if you have any thoughts on this. It was pretty short until Shinsuke attacked Ricochet with a steel chair, causing a disqualification. Gene, do you have any thoughts on this?
Shinsuke Nakamura is really growing as a heel, and it's good to see his transformation occurring. He's really building a lot of heat, and people are starting to not like him. And of course, that's more good for him. All
right.
He's making a difference. But Seth Rollins coming out fighting with an injured back is bad for his health, and he obviously needs to recover. We got to see. I'd like to see Ricochet come out and get some retribution against Shinsuke Nakamura.
All right. So yeah, it's crazy how Shinsuke Nakamura has become. But moving forward, so the next promo is Judgment Day. Obviously, they're the new Undisputed Tag Team Champions. So Judgment Day made their first entrances with all the titles. Dom Mysterio with the North American title, Rhea Ripley World Heavyweight Champion, and Damian Priest and Finn Balor, new Undisputed Tag Team Champions. And they had a segment. Priest was angry that JD McDonough was getting props for helping him win for the titles, and JD McDonough saying that the briefcase have to go, and Damien Priest was like, "Oh my God, I had enough of this kid." But JD McDonough actually gifted Damien Priest a new Money in the Bank briefcase that says Senior Money in the Bank, which kind of made Damien Priest happy, and they were trying to enjoy that moment until Sami Zayn. This is what my prediction was. Sami Zayn coming out complaining that it was 5-on-2. Sami Zayn saying that all of them were title stealers and they're a bunch of turds, and they mocked him. Sami Zayn mocked them for having 5 people, and Kevin Owens obviously wasn't at the show because I think he was dealing with that busted open head. But he actually challenged Dominic Mysterio to a match because he was the one that cost them the titles. But instead, JD McDonough stepped up and said that he will fight Sami Zayn instead. So, and then Sami Zayn said that he's gonna whoop his ass, setting up the match tonight between Sami Zayn and JD McDonough. So yeah, that's the end of the segment. What do you think?
It sounds really complicated. Sounds like a complicated situation with JD McDonough and Damian Priest, and obviously, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens have a bone to pick with the Judgment Day. But let's be honest here, these guys lost to the Judgment Day. It was 5-on-2. It wasn't a fair fight, and they lost fair and square, despite the rules. They lost their titles to the Judgment Day, so now they have to figure out some new goal. They got to figure out coming back and winning those titles back, or moving forward. So,
all right,
that's what Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens have to do. Right now, they lost their purpose. They lost their championship. So what are they going to do now? It's only a matter of time if Kevin Owens is going to come out, face Sami Zayn, and Zayn has just got reunited with Jey Uso. So, of course, Kevin Owens is not going to be comfortable around that, and it's going to be one bad memories for him. So, I think there's got to be some changes done, some talks done.
All right, next segment. Shayna Baszler and Zoey Stark had a segment. These two faced off against each other a couple weeks ago, where Shayna Baszler whooping that ass with Becky Lynch watching on commentary. These two women, obviously, Shayna Baszler is looking for competition, and Zoey Stark is coming off of a breakup with Trish Stratus alliance. So we get to see maybe Zoey Stark going back to her babyface ways. We'll see maybe Zoey Stark can make a push in the woman division. People are saying that, Zoey Stark and Shayna Baszler should become a tag team. That would be dangerous. But after a brief interaction, Shayna Baszler and Zoey Stark agreed to face off in another match. This is round 2. Round 1, Shayna Baszler easily won. It was there were some both knockdowns in this match, and it went back and forth. Eventually, Shayna Baszler, obviously her experience in the MMA with the headlock, this is back and forth, and then Stark had some good shots on Shayna Baszler, but eventually at the end, the Queen of Spades, also known as Shayna Baszler, gets the win with a Krivik clutch as her finisher. And thankfully, after the match, the two women showed the respect. Shayna Baszler showed Zoey Stark the respect, saying that, you did better fight. You put up a better fight than Ronda. And then Zoey Stark said something about better than Trish or something. But Shayna Baszler wins by submission, showing the respect to Zoey Stark. And like I said, people are saying that, I want to see Shayna Baszler and Zoey Stark team up and possibly go for the women's tag team title, which by far right now is cursed right now because another half of the women's tag team champions is injured, Pimper Niven. So Shayna Baszler wins by submission over Zoey Stark. What did you think of this match?
It's interesting. You get a really good analysis of that. So I got nothing to say about that.
You don't have anything to say this match? Shayna Baszler obviously is scary. But
I honestly don't pay attention to Shayna Baszler after she took the beating on Ronda Rousey and kicked her out of the WWE. I honestly don't watch her because I'm not really interested in her as a wrestler. So.
Oh, okay. All right. So the next
same thing goes for the.
All right. Next matchup is Raquel Rodriguez versus Chelsea Green. I'm just laughing because I believe this match took like 30 seconds, and poor Chelsea Green. Raquel was like swinging her all over the place. It was funny to watch.
Yeah.
And then it took 30 seconds. Short and sweet. Rodriguez knocked out before her signature powerbomb for the win. I don't have nothing to say about this match. This was 30 seconds. So, and like I said about Chelsea Green, her partner's injured, and oh my god, the women's tag team championships is cursed. Like, so many wrestlers have become injured. Sonya Deville with the ACL injury, Liv Morgan. I can go on, but do you have anything to say about this really quick 30-second match with Raquel Rodriguez beating Chelsea Green by pinfall?
Raquel Rodriguez just destroyed Chelsea Green, and it wasn't even a matchup. It was just a mass slaughterhouse on the mat. Just dominated her, and she won by pinfall. And she, it wasn't a real matchup for her because she's a big girl, and just like Rhea Ripley. Now, honestly, she was doing it because she lost to Rhea and she's pissed off, so she sent a message to Rhea. I don't think that this rivalry between Rhea and Raquel is over yet. We're seeing this feud grow more between Rhea and Raquel, and obviously, if Rhea is going to be getting a rematch against Raquel, if Raquel is getting a rematch,
she is. I just want to mention that next week on Raw, Raquel Rodriguez will get her rematch against Rhea Ripley on Raw for the World Heavyweight Championship. But on the twist, Dominic Mysterio is barred from ringside, so it's going to be a one-on-one match. Raquel Rodriguez is going to get a rematch next week on Raw.
Well, Dominic
is going to be barred from ringside.
Raquel needs to have a guy there to help her defend her against Dominic, because Dominic is coming out and helping all the time, and it's just not fair to. Things are not fair. Of course, Rhea and Dominic are gonna fight and cheat again, and try to win. So they have to know when to send out the right person to help Raquel, and we'll see how it goes with that.
It doesn't break. Alright, so the next segment is The Miz TV. This was hilarious. The Miz pretending that John Cena came out, and they actually played John Cena's theme song, and everyone thought John Cena was actually here, but just like they did the whole "you can't see me" joke, and the cameraman should get a raise for actually pretending to run with John Cena going to the ring. And the Miz, actually, he was butthurt that he lost to LA Knight with John Cena as the guest referee. He pretended to interview an invisible John Cena, and there were some jokes saying that you can't see him, and then he actually hit his skull-crushing Smavali to like mid-air stuff, like just in empty air. So that was funny to watch. The Miz said that it's not over between him and LA Knight, and he wants to end LA Knight's popularity once for all, saying that he's awesome. So what do you think of the segment?
I don't think there's a stop here between LA Knight and the Miz. You probably will see LA Knight Miz 2.0. So we're gonna see how this works out. The Miz using John Cena sounds funny, and but people expect John Cena to be there, but he's not. And yes,
yeah, the joke saying that you can't see him, that's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah,
to me it seems like a dig against John Cena for some reason.
Yeah, I feel like the Miz and John Cena might have a match, but we have to see. But the next match, yes, we were talking about earlier. The next match, Sami Zayn going 1-on-1 with JD McDonough. Honestly, it was simple until McDonough took control. He slammed Sami Zayn into the announce table. He went ham. Sami Zayn was coming back in the second half of the match, but then Dominic Mysterio, as always, shows up. The piece of shit came up like always and cost Sami Zayn the match. McDonough stole the match with a win with a roll up. Sami Zayn went after Dom, beat him up until McDonough made the save. Sami Zayn end up hitting McDonough with end up hitting JD McDonough with the Helena kick, leaving Dom Mysterio to run away. So JD McDonough ends up getting the win over Sami Zayn by pinfall with a roll-up win with the help of Dominic Mysterio. What do you think of this match?
Of course, Dominic Mysterio was a piece of crap, and will always be a piece of crap. No one a piece of crap, and he'll be the gum on the back of our shoes, and because that's the piece of heel that he is. And of course, everybody still hates him. The most hated wrestler in WWE history. Always be the most hated wrestler. But for him to interfere is typical Dom. It's always what he always does. He interfered in the street fight. He interfered in the Reyes match, and now he's interfering in JD McDonough's match. You know, so he gets Judgment Day gets the win, but Dominic, just going to be Dominic, and that's just how sad it's going to be. So.
Okay, and we are on to our final and last match, which was the main event, and oh my god, this was probably a match of the night of the Monday Night Raw. Chad Gable and Gunther in a rematch for the Intercontinental Championship, and it was an absolute amazing match. Unfortunately, it sucked for Chad Gable because he couldn't get the win. Yes, Gunther gets the win, retaining the Intercontinental title, and he has surpassed the Honky Tongs man's record of more than the Intercontinental reign. So yeah, it was a back and forth. I feel like it was a great match. Chad Gable put up a fight. Chad Gable with the ankle lock a couple times, but for some odd reason, Gunther was able to counter that a couple times. A couple times I thought Chad Gable was really going to win the Intercontinental title with a power splash, and it just went back and forth, But eventually, at the end, it was a huge powerbomb by Gunther to Chad Gable with a huge clothesline. Gunther pinning Gable clean. It sucked because his kids was watching too, and they were crying. They were crying for their dad, Chad Gable, losing. Gunther gets the win, surpassing the Honky Tonk Man's Intercontinental reign record. Gunther is now your longest reigning Intercontinental champion. So Gunther defeats Chad Gable in an awesome main event by pinfall. Wow. What a match. What are your thoughts on this match?
Would have gone either way, but Chad Gable getting that victory against Gunther. Obviously, Gunther was able to put put the punishment on Chad Gable. He made him, he just went at him, knocked him out. Chad Gable also had his bag of weapons. Honestly, Frank Gunther is doing his thing as this heel champion, and Chad Gable's trying to break it. I don't think we'll probably see some more matches with Gunther and Chad Gable in the future.
In my opinion, I think for now Chad Gable is done with Gunther. We have to see who Gunther is going to be, challenging next, and that's what I want to talk about. Some possibilities that could happen, some predictions and stuff like that. So let's start with Jey Uso. I feel like Jey Uso is the top star to talk about after his trade to Raw. So obviously, I mentioned that someone from Raw is going to get traded to SmackDown. So we can make some predictions right here. I'll start first. I think the number one superstar from Raw that might get traded to SmackDown is Cody Rhodes. There has been a discussion about Cody Rhodes transferring to getting traded to SmackDown to finish his story with Roman Reigns. I feel like people are talking about, Cody Rhodes is going to finish his feud with Roman Reigns leading up to another WrestleMania rematch at WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I think that's when Roman Reigns is going to, lose his title. So that's my prediction. I think Cody Rhodes is going to be the one to get traded to SmackDown. What do you think? What's your prediction?
I think that's a possibility that can happen. Cody Rhodes going to SmackDown, and Seth Rollins. I'm really thinking Seth Rollins could drop his belt and go after Cody Rhodes. That's what I think.
All right. And obviously, what's next for Jey Uso? We might see him in a couple single matches a couple times. If he goes after championships, there's a possibility that he might go after Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. Once Seth Rollins done with Shinsuke Nakamura, I don't know how long the Shinsuke Nakamura versus Seth Rollins is gonna last, but there's talks about Jey Uso challenging Seth Rollins. I would like to see that. There's rumors saying that Jey Uso might challenge Gunther. That's probably going to be an amazing matchup. So what do you think's next for Jey Uso?
Yeah, that's tough to say because Jey Uso is on Raw now, and you never know. I think he's probably going to run into a lot of feuds. A lot of people are going to want a piece of him, so he's going to run into a lot of feuds on Raw, and that's going to He's pissed off a lot of people coming to Raw, and he's no longer got the protection of the bloodline. He's on his own, and he's doing his thing. I think that he's got a lot of potential to unlock. Being at Raw, and that's what I see.
All right, yeah. All right, and then moving on, obviously Seth Freakin Rollins and Shinsuke Nakamura is not done yet. I can possibly see them having a rematch at Fastlane, which is coming up. I feel like their rematch is going to be there, so we have to see what happens. Rhea Ripley, obviously she has to defend her championship against Raquel Rodriguez. Next week, I have Rhea Ripley retaining. Plus, I think that's going to be the last time Raquel Rodriguez is going to challenge Rhea Ripley. So Rhea Ripley is going to be looking for a new challenger. Like I said, I want to see a Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley feud for the World Heavyweight Championship. That'll be awesome if Becky Lynch wins the World Heavyweight Championship because you got two couples, Seth freaking Rollins, who's the World Heavyweight Championship, and how'd you know? Becky Lynch, his wife, also World Heavyweight Champion. That's going to be interesting to see. So there's questions to see where Rhea Ripley is going to stand after her feud with Raquel Rodriguez. So, in your own opinion, what do you think's next for Rhea Ripley after Raquel?
I think Raquel wants Rhea, so she can show she is the best at what she does. And she's also trying to get back to her community by offering the best service she can, and that's it. So,
and we already talked about what's next for Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. They might challenge Damian Priest and Finn Balor. I can see a possible rematch between them at Fastlane. And another topic was the Street Profits wants to and Bobby Lashley wants to put WWE on notice. So there's a chance that the Street Profits might try to get a chance to challenge Finn Balor and Damian Priest for the Undisputed Tag Team Championship. So the Tag Team Championship, there's a lot of challengers for Judgment Day. So I feel like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens is going to be up there. Street Profits are looking for a challenge too. So that's going to be interesting to see. So what's your thoughts about what's next for the Judgment Day defending the Undisputed Tag Team titles? Gene?
Mm-hmm. Yes. It's going to be interesting to see how these matches turn out. Because there's a lot of great matches, a lot of great rivalries that are forming, and we're going to have to see. I want to see how things go as far as these matches go. If they're going to deliver really good matches. So we'll just have to see how things turn out. You know.
Oh, all right. I'm not gonna go too deep. It looks like you're tired. Sorry. Yeah, that's the end of the show. Like I said, this was a great show. Jey Uso returning, Gunther and Gable. Like I said, Zoey Stark and Shayna Baszler could lead for something interesting. They could be a good tag team match team. There's a chance that The Miz wants another match with John Cena. So, yeah, overall, I give this grade a B. I think it was a great Raw. So, what did you give this? What grade did you give this show?
It was a great show. It shows the frustration of some characters, and presence of others. So, can't wait to see how things turn out, and we'll see. So that's all I got to say about that.
Alright, I am Bruin Steel. Thank you guys for watching. That is our broadcast for this past Monday Night Raw. I thank you guys for watching. Like I said, I won't be back until next Tuesday until I do my recap for both SmackDown and Raw. Hopefully Canadian Yorker here is going to make it for one of them. I don't know if you're going to be doing both of them. I don't know, it's up to you, but thank you guys for watching. I'm Bruin Steel. That was our recap broadcast for this past Monday Night Raw, and we'll see you next week. Anything to add, Canadian Yorker?
Yep, we'll see you next week. So have a great night.
Yep, see you guys later. Take care.